you never heard of. Hey everybody, welcome to the Common Folk Podcast with Ben, Morgan, and Andy.
Welcome back to Common Folk.
There it is. That's the radio voice. And you see how smooth he was? Turn all the mics on.
Get all the buttons. I'm all like, I can do it with my eyes closed now.
Yeah.
He put mine on, so I guess.
You get included.
Can't hear you now. Sorry. Mic off.
Jerk.
There we go.
Andy's got a little cooler going on.
Yeah. I brought my banquet beer back.
Attaboy.
Yes,
That's
sir.
your go-to now?
It is now.
Because
Yeah.
Coors Light is for wussies or what?
I mean, it's like,
Ben,
I don't know.
He's not going to say that necessarily, but
look what you got.
I got one for him too. But
Oh,
I got
so he
some-
could double fist.
Well, here. Can you do this one?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
the pickle
Oh my
fight.
gosh. I'm driving later,
Oh,
like
wow.
out of town,
not
so I'm
saying
not
drink
drinking
6 of
today.
them.
we got to get Nebraska Brewing officially involved. 'Cause
We do.
We have their stuff all the time.
I got my favorite one here too.
There you go.
A Wick for Brains.
It's
Do
almost
they
out-
still
it's almost
sell
out of
that?
season,
That's what I was
right?
going to say. Do they still sell that
There's not
outside
many,
of?
it's whatever is left is it. So I think there's a few cases still at the brewery. I saw
Okay,
last
but
time I
are
was
they
there.
going to be kind of like the summer shandy, where summer shandy used to just be summer and now it's year round?
No, the Wick for Brains is a strictly seasonal thing.
Okay.
So it's
All
usually
right.
gone by Christmas, winter time.
It is.
Yeah.
So have you gone back to get more and stock up?
I already bought Hy-Vee out of it. I bought their last.
You did?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. So yeah.
It's like when that peach, isn't that the thing? Peach Bush,
oh,
when everybody
yeah.
loved
Oh, there's
that.
a couple different ones.
Yeah.
and they were just buying the shit out of it,
Yeah.
and then it wasn't gone. It
I
was
think
gone.
what we need from Nebraska Brewing is like a couple of 12 packs a month,
Okay.
and then like some kind of VIP card.
So do we need to talk to Kim or what?
So when we go in, we can
Yeah.
get like, like, hey, we're your guy, like 50%
Yep.
off
Yep.
taps
Oh
or
my
something.
God.
Flash our common folk, or
Right,
like have
right.
a little card.
Yeah.
I think we're on to something. Yeah, Kim.
Which is
Kim?
probably a family pass, right? Like, I mean, we could be part of their family.
If they have
That's
a
what I'm
family
saying.
pass,
Yeah.
we should definitely get in on that.
Yeah, she didn't talk about that when she was here, but
No, but there has to be something floating out there.
I mean, we're probably
So.
top of her list.
Oh, gotta be, right?
Probably not, but that's okay.
So I'm being rude here. Jeremy, do you need a beer?
Yeah, I'll take a beer
Cool.
and one of those family passes. I will gladly accept one of those.
He's in on it too.
I won't make fun of you. Coors Light or Coors?
Yes, he will.
I will take the Coors Light.
Or Wick for Brains. It's one of my last ones.
Or, yeah,
Whatever you want.
I think he wants to.
I'll take the
Light.
Coors Light.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. There we go.
just for fun.
There we go.
I think actually, now that he says that, maybe that would be a good thing. So like every guest gets the family pass, and it's like
Oh,
yeah.
They'll
it's,
love that.
It's like a 12-month deal. Though.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Lord.
Like it's got like a date on it.
It'd be
Like
so
a
much easier
punch
for us to
card.
get guests then. Like you get a year beer supply.
If you think about it, though, like that would drive a lot of traffic to their place. It's a great idea. It's genius.
Yeah.
It's like
So-
a punch. No, they need to do a punch card. You know, like when you get alcohol
Yeah, you
at
could do that
Hy-Vee.
too. Yeah, we give out
Or we
punch
get
cards, yeah.
meat at Hy-Vee. You get a
Okay.
little stamp, and then
Come-
you get a
common
free whatever.
This is good for one growler when you leave.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're on to something here.
Okay.
People
Okay.
love punch cards at the Hy-Vee.
I know.
I'll tell you that right now.
I'm the one that has it.
I don't have enough room in my wallet.
No, you don't. He doesn't even put in my phone number.
So
I don't even know your phone number.
Oh, bull.
I had to quote Ashley's earlier today. I'm like, oh, Jesus, what are the last
Yeah.
4 digits?
Bullshit.
That's changed.
She's
No,
probably had it for 20 years.
She has, but I don't, it's a name on the phone, right? You don't.
Yep.
That is true. For the kids, I don't really know their phone numbers, but I obviously know his. That was before we had.
Yeah, you had to memorize that. stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I met my wife right before smartphones, so
Okay.
I know her
So
number.
you know it. Yeah, exactly.
But my kids will never know their significant other's phone number. There's
Yeah.
just
Right.
no chance.
Yeah, it's just a
so
name.
bad.
Yeah. So,
So what are we doing, Andy? What's
well,
up?
yeah, we got Jeremy Odem here, and Jeremy, you got a few different things going on, and we met through kind of the sports broadcasting world.
Yeah.
In a real roundabout way.
He's a sports guy too.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yes.
I love losing money.
Oh, wow. I don't know that many people
my wife
say
hates that I lose money, but I love losing money.
Pretty much guaranteed to, right?
So
Yes.
Unless you listen to Andy's podcast.
Right.
I mean-
you can tell when he listens to Gibran.
Yeah.
when he
Gibran's
doesn't.
helped me out.
Yeah, yeah. The parlay pounder.
Yep. The kids are getting gifts this year because of Gibran. So thanks.
Awesome.
Here we go. Yeah.
Awesome.
But no, Jeremy was a writer for a sports website that I would follow and peruse through and kind of read their articles. And one of the times I was reading an article, I'm like, okay, first off, this is out of Ohio, and this is an article on Nebraska, so I got to see what this is all about. Oh, the writer's from Nebraska. Really? He's from Omaha. So I reached out, and you've been on the show a couple times.
A couple times now,
Yeah. So,
On the sports betting.
Yep.
Where's the line? Yep.
Yep. So it's been good. It's been fun.
So were your predictions right?
Well, it's funny. On the
his-
show,
yes.
I'm probably 50-50.
That's all right.
I've had some wins, I've had some losses,
Okay,
but I
okay.
know it's funny because the article that you had read that kind of started it was about how the Huskers were the off-season champions of the world, and it sure seems like we're going to repeat.
Oh,
so
we got that in the bag.
That's it was kind of funny that
Yeah.
that's what spurred this thing. But.
You can just rehash. You don't just change a couple names and just redo that article.
Yep, I'm going to republish it.
For sure. We're already
Nice.
there. We just landed a couple 5-star quarterbacks. They transferred in. One decommitted. Now he's transferring.
Yeah, I
it's
heard about
unbelievable.
that from Ohio. Is that for real?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
we're
he
back.
committed
Well,
to
he was-
Nebraska?
he was in town yesterday.
That doesn't mean he committed.
We're back. I mean,
Okay.
that's
We're-
really
yeah.
what you
Okay.
need to know.
Did
Okay.
you know that I've heard this every year for my whole life?
I read a text message, or not a text message, a tweet from a random Husker fan that said, yeah, that's been the case every year, but this year's different.
Oh,
Yes.
So there you go.
Do you remember how many years ago was it different when this guy was coming in, that guy, when Frost was coming in? Oh my God, this is the savior. That no one even.
Yeah.
How could you even put this script together? This is so perfect. He's coming back he
Yeah,
comes out
it
of a
was-
school that just had a perfect season, and oh my God, this is gonna be the end all be all. Everything is coming together. Oh my goodness! And then all of a sudden,
I know what you're asking for.
wah wah wah.
Well, that was different. This is different.
Oh,
That's what the kids
Yes.
are saying.
Ben, you're talking to these
double different.
crazy diehard Nebraska fans. You're not going to get through to them. They have 100% convinced themselves every year it's going to get better.
Well, and that's what's kind of fun with the where's the line.
I like giving you shit, Andy.
It's we're talking betting lines, so even there, you can tell when Jared's about to say, "Don't go with the Huskers."
That's what I was going to say. Do you ever bet against the Huskers?
I would say we probably bet against them about 70% of the time. this year.
Okay.
That's how
All
you make
right.
money.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my
yeah.
goodness.
That's a financial decision, but he'd always go, Husker fans are gonna hate me for this one. That's how it was. He'd kind of
Yeah.
get you ready to go.
but
Okay.
reality's reality.
It
Yeah,
is.
it is what it is.
Yep.
So that's how you guys met.
And yeah, just more and more stuff kept coming out. You're a stand-up comedian.
Yep.
You work at, did you say Hy-Vee? You're
Yeah.
a grocery store, and you've been doing that for a long time.
Probably close to 25 years now in the grocery stores.
Okay, which
Wow.
one?
I'm currently at the Gretna
Okay.
location there.
I don't know if I've hit that one up yet, but I do like
But
it.
I
It's
have
the best.
been-
It's the best.
It is the flagship store. It's, I don't know
is?
if you've seen the T-shirts, but it's the world's largest Hy-Vee.
I heard about that.
No, I've not.
It's a
Yes.
beast. from
And
the
you have
sounds
your
of it.
own T-shirts.
We have T-shirts, yeah.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, but currently
Okay.
sold out. But I know the next load that comes in, they'll sell out as well because it's a big deal.
Stop. Are you
it's-
acting like you're Casey's or like what's that one in Texas that has the rabbit or the
Buc-ee's.
Buc-ee's.
Buc-ee's,
Yeah.
yeah.
The
Are you
gas-
guys like the next Buc-ee's, but you're Hy-Vee?
We're Midwest Buc-ee's.
Oh, ho, ho, ho.
Yeah. Which,
Okay.
I don't know, some people
I
would
did
say
not
that's
know that.
nicer. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. Good to know. I'm going to have to go to Gretna Hy-Vee.
I guess so.
All right, so we got Jeremy here. He is doing all these crazy things, and that's what we're going to get into, right? So let's kind of get to a beginning.
Okay.
All right. So what's up with Jeremy? Where'd you come from? What's
Yeah,
your
so, I
what,
mean-
what do you like? What's your family? Were you born here? So on and so forth. Those
Yeah,
kinds of
I was born in June of 1983. No, I'm just joking.
That was a good year.
Thank you. Yeah. No, I Midwest mostly in Iowa, Nebraska, and Millard South graduate.
Okay.
Worked in grocery stores. I like to say I, started at the store at 14, which working at the grocery store bagging groceries is like your classic starter job, but it only lasted about 24 years. But no, it's taken me throughout the Midwest, running grocery stores. I mean, I've literally done everything you can do in a grocery store.
So you started working in grocery stores when you were
14, bagging.
Okay,
Yep.
so you were like at that point. Were you in high school or?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yep,
freshman,
sophomore.
probably
Yep.
sophomore. Okay,
Yep.
so first job doing that.
First job, my mom worked customer service, and my dad was like, "You got to work. You're old
So
enough to
she
work.
hooked you
Let's
up.
go." She hooked
Yep.
me up.
Yep.
Just kind of hanging out with friends and helping customers was fun because you're making money doing it, and had really zero interest in a future in it, but I didn't really know what I wanted to do, and just kept, I don't know, just picking up shifts because my dad's like, you got to work, and he's a Marine, so it was like the work ethic,
Okay.
he's driving that home.
Yep.
So kept working at the store through high school, and as soon as high school was over, it was like, well, what are you going to do? Well, I had no clue. But I knew I could keep working at the store and just keep going different departments, working produce, working in the dairy, whatnot. But I ended up choosing to go to Iowa Western because I had taken a tour there and was interested in their radio program.
Okay.
So thought it looked fun. Zero idea what that career would entail, could entail, right? But I went, and I thought it was fun, and hey, at least I'm in college because my dad was like, you got to work, you got to get in college. So went to Iowa Western, was on the air at 89.7 The River for a couple of years.
I was going to ask you about that. I listened to that radio station in high school a lot.
Yeah.
So that'd have been
2001 to 2003.
that you were there.
Yep.
Okay, so that was right after I got out of high school. I
Oh,
might
you
have still
probably
listened to it a
listened
little
to
bit. Yeah, probably did.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you were on it at all.
Yeah, I had a Big Party was our morning show.
Yeah.
Capone was
Yeah.
afternoons. I co-hosted afternoons with him for a bit.
Cool.
I was a blast. Turns out radio is what I wanted to do, and I was like, this is the future, right? But the more I learned about it, and I felt like it was fun, I could do it, but the more I learned about it, you can get fired at the drop of a dime just because the station wants to change the format.
Oh, yeah.
So Hy-Vee kept promoting me, and that made things a little more stable.
Yeah.
I had met my soon-to-be wife and towards the end of high school and early college, and we ended up just staying here, and I just kept working up at the grocery store.
Yeah.
Nice.
But broadcasting, man, that was probably the most fun.
So how
like-
long were you said 3 years?
Yeah, I did that
Okay.
for 3 years, and I did some little bit of work in radio after that. Like, there's like a satellite station here in town where, this was even before or at the beginning of satellite radio, but it was you'd record for 12 different radio stations, and it would just go out to those over-the-air stations. So I'd be on like 12 different FM stations across the country, but I'd just be here in Omaha, recording segments or whatever.
That's cool.
But did that for a little bit before calling it a career on radio because grocery stores were calling and had an opportunity there.
Did you at that radio station? No one's going to care about this, so I don't want to spend much time on it. But did you? You might have met my cousin. Our last name's Evers. Did you know Nicole? Nikki? She might go on Nikki.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your cousin?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No,
Yep.
I do.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. My dad's brothers, kids. We obviously we know them really well, but yeah, I remember her talking about being at the radio station.
Oh,
so
awesome.
that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, because you guys would have been about the same age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause she's a little bit younger than me.
Weird.
So, what was going? So you were learning all these different things at the grocery store, and that was clicking for you. Did you finish school at Iowa Western?
I did.
Or? Okay.
Yeah, I ended up. I had my last semester. I had a class that was, over the internet. Now it's pretty common to take classes over the
Yeah.
internet. Back then, it was like
Yeah.
pretty random.
Yeah.
And I had taken that class. I didn't go to class, and I did that semi kind of on purpose because I wanted some more on air time. So I got like an extra summer on the air. Was
There you
trying to
go.
like get myself because I would then
Yeah.
be able to take that class again. But then I ended up graduating and getting a degree in communications.
Cool. So, what was happening with Hy-Vee at that time? I mean, or not Hy-Vee, or wherever
Yeah.
you were working? Was it Hy-Vee?
Yep, back then. Yep, it was Hy-Vee.
So, and yourself, like how was that progressing for you?
There was a consistent future to take care of my family and help folks, and I do enjoy helping people. I don't know, there's something about a satisfaction of having a service and being able to get a smile out of someone, and I did enjoy that. And And I also very much enjoyed getting paid to do that. So,
Yeah.
like anyone would. But I had an opportunity towards 2012 to get into a program that Hy-Vee has called Hy-Vee University, and it's like a year-long training program to prepare you to run, their retail operation. And the unique thing about that company versus another chain that I ended up working for later is that each individual store is very autonomous. It's not like a Walmart or any other corporate type company where the person running it's getting a playbook and go run it. That store's your playground. I mean, you were there to take care of people. You're there to train the folks. You're there to to make the business work, right? So the training program was a little more intensive, I guess, than any other training program you'd have. So it was very involved for a year of back and forth between working in various stores and then also at the corporate office and going through seminars and I don't know, whatnot, and just learning the business, really. It's like being a business owner. Everything you need to do as a business owner, from sourcing the goods and supplies and running your P&L and hiring and firing and training and pricing, and it's what you do as a store manager.
And they give you the flexibility to be able to do all those things, make those decisions, live in whatever you did. If you made the right one, if you made the wrong one, now figure it out.
You literally set the budgets. I mean, you're running it as if it's your building and they're just funding you.
It's pretty cool because we talk to a lot of entrepreneurs, and it's and I don't want folks to think or feel like we talk down a lot of corporate stuff. That's not what we're trying to do. It's just that we talk to a lot of entrepreneurs, and a company like that gives you that ability to almost basically be an entrepreneur, like grow and bloom and make your decisions and these kinds of things. It's pretty neat to hear about.
It's also just a basic understanding. I can't believe more companies don't do it. That a Hy-Vee in Gretna probably needs to be run a little bit different than one even in Council Bluffs.
Or down here in
There's different
Plattsburgh
things
or
going
whatever.
on there. There's different people, different tastes, different preferences. Obviously a Nebraska Brewing Company beer would do better in Gretna. And something from Cade Creek in Iowa would do better, and that's the way it should be. That's the way it should be. So,
and that's our basic philosophy of build into your community and make sure that those in your community can be served. Because so often, if you're running a playbook, and you don't know that a school maybe uses that part of town often, maybe for various sports activities, anything. That you could help them. You could help folks that still live in your community, use your community, even though they're, ways away. I don't know. It's the flexibility of it's amazing and can help serve the customer.
Cool.
Is it just easier for corporate to not do it this way? Like, why aren't more? You know what I mean? Like, what is your take?
I don't know. The stuff that I've seen over the years, I feel like, and I don't know how old that company is, but it feels like more old school companies kind of run that mentality. If you have. There's a lot of reasons why, if you have a store that no matter which location you go in, it's exactly the same. All the stuff is in the same location. Everything feels exactly the same. Everyone has to run by these rules, those kinds of things.
Can I say like Walgreens? I feel like it's always on a corner.
It'd be
it's
like
gonna
something like that.
This is how it's going to go.
Yeah, and there's a lot of good reasons for that. But what it doesn't do is foster the kind of decision making and growth that you're talking about with what you were able to experience. And in my opinion, in running businesses and being involved in businesses my whole life, the number one thing that's going to make a business do well is ownership.
Yes.
So that sense of ownership, and if a corporation can foster that sense of ownership by letting you make some of your own decisions and grow the thing you want to grow the way you want to grow it, and you have to deal with the good and the bad and so on and so forth. That's huge. As an entrepreneur, you don't have a choice but to experience that ownership.
Right.
But in a lot of corporations, you don't get that opportunity.
Yeah.
So when they give it, I think that's a big deal.
So
it allows you to be flexible too. Like you're on the ground floor, what needs to be done or what people are asking for, and this is allowing you to serve that.
Absolutely, yeah. And to speak to what you were just saying, the company's employee owned, so everybody does have that investment in it and want to make it work.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's different than anywhere else I've worked for sure.
And
See, I didn't know we had an owner. I didn't know we had an owner here today.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
We didn't intend to have a podcast about Hy-Vee, so we'll move on here in a minute. But I do have one other question that what you were talking about there, because I see that on the signs all the time about employee-owned and so on and so forth. How does that really work? Because I do think that a major issue with a lot of corporations is, that they're stockholder-owned, and these stockholders don't have anything to do with the business. So the business's primary goal and obligation is to make money for that stockholder that has no real involvement in the business. So a lot of things suffer because of that.
Yep.
So when I hear about employee-owned, I'm always curious, like, how does that actually work? What does that really even mean?
So the largest stockholder in the company is the 401k, and that's only owned by the employees, right?
Okay.
And then the rest of the stockholders are at different levels of the company. So basically, if you're not a part of the company, if you're not an employee, you can't be a stockholder.
Okay.
So you are working for the folks next to you.
Wow.
It definitely, like you were asking, maybe is it easier, is it harder, to have the stores operate this way? I don't know. I think you can argue that it's harder because then those folks who at the top were trying to work side by side with other owners have to then manage the folks that are down running the stores and they're kind of
Gotcha.
doing their own thing. So
Yes.
you got to get everybody on the same page. I mean,
Okay.
you still have to flow the same way, even though everybody's kind of thinking autonomously. But yeah, no, you're working for the person next to you, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
And that kind of builds that environment where everyone kind of holds everyone accountable. Like,
Yeah.
hey, everything you do every day has an effect on this thing I'm trying to build for myself and my family and my retirement and whatever else.
That's
so
exactly it.
let's stay on it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So did you get kind of bored or something, or do you just have that itch to be in the radio realm and things got settled down, or what kind of drove you back to get back into kind of broadcasting? Because that's where I saw you.
Yeah, no, you get to a point sometimes where you've maybe feel like there's the stress and the pressures of the job, and you just like, you know what, I think I can try something else. So I did end up leaving the company at one point in 2019, and then I was in West Des Moines at that time. I moved back to Omaha, started working for another company, but in the meantime, I was trying to find other avenues to be creative and just, I don't know, see if I can make another life for myself and my family. And after leaving that company at the end of 2022, I went all in on, I've always wanted to be in entertainment in some regard. I started to learn how to write comedy, and I wanted to perform. I had some stage fright, situations. I just get really nervous, but I can overcome it. And I felt like that was a personal challenge I wanted to have. And I've always, probably since the beginning of podcasting, I've wanted to have a podcast. I wanted to be involved in podcasts. I think it's a very interesting industry and something that I know I could do. So it's like, I'm going in. I'm going to start one and just see what happens. But that's kind of. And then writing. I was writing for TOSN, and I had no intentions of writing. But I wanted to learn. I wanted to learn the intricacies of writing and what it goes and what's all included in that, involved in that, so that I could use it in other ways, in the comedy and in podcasting, because I knew it could all kind of flow together. So,
Yeah. To me, it sounds like you don't really want to just settle on, you know what I mean? There was still something out there that you wanted to achieve by leaving, a company and doing your own thing.
Yeah. And I don't know. I had, back when I was getting towards the end of college, this is 2003, 2004, I had opportunities to go do other things and do radio. And I chose this other path because it was more consistent. It was probably what was best. And maybe it was best for my family at that time.
I don't think that's a bad thing.
Yeah.
I don't.
But yeah, no, you get to a point where you're like, I want to try something else. And there was never a better time. So
Yeah.
Well, I think you're in a unique space where I always felt your best college professors are the ones that actually worked at Ford Motor Company, and then they can tell you how to work a company or how it should work. Not just someone that graduated, now he's a professor, or
Probably, but they probably just sidebar didn't work at Ford because that's a really good company.
Yeah, there you
Not
go.
a
Sorry,
Ford guy.
Chevy guy. Sorry about that. I should have used the GM reference. But now, Jeremy, you're set up to where you have not a lifetime, but you have a really good experience working in the real world that you can pull from. You always have those references to where if you make a joke about a grocery store, I'm gonna give you a lot of credit on that. Like I'm gonna buy into it, which maybe some comedians or whatever writers won't have because they do not have that experience. So I think in a way you kind of set yourself up for success.
Well, and everybody's been to the grocery store, right?
I mean, come on.
Everybody's had the feeling of getting the broken egg in your carton, or having the groceries bagged incorrectly, or not being able to find everything because the store changes everything all the time, right? Like everybody has that, and it's that's been something that's definitely connected with audiences.
What's weird about the grocery store is like when I was a kid, I used to hate going there because it was just like a drag, like. You'd hold on to the basket, and your mom would drag you around, like, get this, get that, whatever. I freaking love going there now.
He goes like almost every freaking day. It's ridiculous.
I love it.
It's a good store.
Hey, it's great, man. You go in there, you can see, like, hey, what do they got on special today? What's in the cooler? What's going on over here? What's going on over there? Like, what do we want to eat tonight? Like, it's just fun.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Most
I don't
people
think it's
don't
fun.
like going to the grocery store.
I
It's
don't either.
a necessary evil, but
Yeah.
no, we love the folks that do enjoy going. That's for sure. Yeah.
It's because he loves to cook.
Okay. All right. It's a playground then.
But a lot, it is for sure.
Yep.
But a lot of times too, like I'll just grab the stuff that they cooked or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And we
Yeah,
just have to
that's
warm it up because it's
true.
just kind of, it's like, oh yeah, this was good or that's good.
deli.
Let's mix it up a little bit. Or they do all the things. They do like the pizzas
Or you
the
come home with
Chinese
a TV
food
dinner to have nostalgia from when you were 12
sometimes
years
I'll go
old.
get a Hungry Man or whatever and
It's
toss
also-
it in.
There you go. Well, it's also, I think a big reason anyone would spend $7 a cup of coffee is at Starbucks because you're legitimate now. Like, oh, I'm a coffee guy. I speak the language.
Yeah.
Same could be said going to a good grocery store and you go back to the butcher and you start bullshitting with the guy.
Yeah. Actually, what's funny, I just thought about this. I don't know why this came to my mind. One of our biggest listeners works at the meat counter
He
at our Hy-Vee down
does.
here.
All right.
Yep.
all
There-
right.
See?
Yeah, I get emails from him all the time. I talk to him whenever I go in there. It's a great dude.
Shout out to that guy.
I didn't
Yeah.
even
Hello.
know that. Yeah, so that's totally,
Yeah.
that's totally Ben.
Yeah,
Nice.
we've talked
Like it.
about it once. I forget his name. I don't know if he knows who I am.
I do have his name. For some reason, I can't remember it right
I
now
always
off
go
the
to
top of
the
my head,
deli.
but
I
I've got
don't
it.
go to the butcher counter because we have so much meat in the freezer.
Do you guys have the bar here at your store?
We have Wahlburgers.
What do you mean the bar?
Okay.
Yeah.
Like we have
Oh,
a bar
yes.
at our
Yeah.
store in Gretna. Yeah.
Oh,
Isn't it
there-
crazy?
Is there booze there?
Yeah.
There is?
At the bar?
I didn't
At
know
Hy-Vee?
that.
Yeah, we go to the counter and drink.
Oh,
On the
wow.
weekends,
Sure.
I see people walking around grocery shopping with a beer in their hand all the time.
Oh, we've not
What is this,
done
Las
that.
Vegas?
all the
I
time.
didn't know that.
It's exactly like
We
Vegas,
need to
yes.
do that and start that in Plattsmouth.
All right.
We've not left the
I might-
place.
You can
I might-
carry beers around?
Oh yeah.
I might go
Oh,
back to the
I'm
grocery.
totally
I have
gonna
to-
do that.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Okay.
We normally just go and sit and then we'll get food.
That
If you
poor-
enjoy shopping now, just wait till you got a beer.
that poor butcher's not going to get anything done now.
Right.
You're going to take a 12-pack and kill it with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, at what point, did this kind of snowball where you're like, let's do it? I want to be a stand-up comedian because I feel like that is such a bold thing to do,
No.
difficult thing to
Ooh.
do. Like for me, I'm thinking, man, that takes a lot of courage that I'm not so sure I have. It's real easy for me to crack jokes here, there, whatever.
Yep.
But even the cadence and presenting it, you have to present it in a different way. Like, it looks so difficult to me. What
Well-
made you want to do that?
Yeah.
Like the end of 2022, I mean, all my heroes. Like I was thinking, like, who inspires me?
Okay.
And I was thinking back to when I was a kid, and then just like, what did I? Not that who do you want to be when I grow up, like, but more of who did I look to for inspiration and whatever I was doing. And it was always the comedians. It was always the comics, and I kind of had a way sometimes with friends, and even when I was running grocery stores or in staff meetings, I would always want to write jokes to try to lighten the mood, because sometimes it can be stressful. And I've always done that, not knowing that I was doing it. It was just, to me, it was part of teaching, part of training, part of motivating. And as I was thinking of like what to do, I'm like, I think I could do that. And Zach Peterson, he's a comic that resides in Omaha, and he travels the country constantly and has had many successes in that world. He was teaching a class that was coming up in January, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give it a go and just see if I can do it and learn how to write and maybe even get to do a show. And I found that I can do it. It's like, well, not that I can do it now. I really want to do it, and I don't know. It's fun. There's a thrill to being on. I mean, it's scary. I mean, the fear of, will they laugh? Because sometimes they don't.
Yeah.
But
what if they don't?
But I found that's fun too. Like,
what would
you
be
learn.
fun?
Yeah.
You say something and everyone stares at you like you're an idiot?
So,
oh my
like-
God, I would die. I would want to crawl in a hole.
It's just
that
like,
hook comes out, the gong
Yeah.
show they just cracked.
but it's just like
Thank you,
playing
Morgan.
sports. Like every game's different, right?
Oh.
And you're on stage. That audience in that moment is different than the one you're going to have the next time.
Okay.
And each joke can hit, maybe it won't. And that's fun. You can learn from it. You can learn different ways to tell the joke. I have found that like the game of it is a lot of fun, but I also found that it can turn into something. Like there's literally $0 to be made doing stand-up comedy unless you can take it in other avenues.
Yeah.
But I have found that I can maybe use that to help with those other avenues. So I don't know. It's just fun, and I just learn every single time. And yes, sometimes they don't laugh, and that's
So
great.
you end up launching a podcast, and I told you it's my new dog walking podcast. So
Yeah.
when I take Kylo for a walk, I'll put on Laugh With Me. And you always do a thing where you try to joke out. And he did a joke over Cisco, the thong song. Remember that?
Yes. Dong,
So-
dong, dong, dong.
And your buddy, I think, mentioned like, well, yeah, it's a 13-year-old song. You
Yeah.
know, so yeah, you got to know your audience. He thought it was going to crush, and all these 20-something-year-olds are like,
Didn't even know it.
what?
well, yeah. I'm talking about how you love to sing in the shower or sing in your car. The two places I love to sing, in the shower and in the car, and it helps build me up to a thing about in the car. But the thong song, I quote, the beginning of the song at the beginning of the joke. And I thought the first time I did it in Topeka, Kansas, and I thought it was going to crush. It was a big room. I'll have enough people there that'll get it. Crickets. And I thought in my head, I'm like, okay, that didn't work. Hopefully the next line does it. I got out of it okay, but yeah, I had my brother on the podcast, and I'm telling him this, and he's like, yeah, you picked a 13-year-old song. Like, what'd you expect?
Right.
Yeah.
Didn't think about that part.
Well, there are 13-year-old songs where you can do that, but
Not the thong song.
The thong song, yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
So to help me understand
Yeah.
this timeline, and first of all, to rewind real quick, our big listener at Hy-Vee is Andrew. So I just want to give him a quick shout out. I don't want to go without saying his name.
My man.
Yep. And so you said in 19 was when you left the grocery store.
That's
right?
when I left Hy-Vee. I ended
So
up going to
then-
another chain for
Okay.
a couple of years.
So you worked for, so then
Yep.
you're 21-ish, 22. So then, and Andy said, you started doing the podcast and the stand-up
Yep.
comedy and stuff. So was that about that time, or when was that?
It was about the end of 22. So
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
right after I left that other chain.
Yep.
And then I was like, you know what, let's go. And then I went back to Hy-Vee, but lesser role, give me more freedom to be able to have time to do some of these other things I want to do.
Oh,
So
fun.
that would have been like 22-ish. So as of today, you're still helping out at Hy-Vee, but
Yep.
doing your thing here with the comedy and the podcast and that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I got the timeline now.
Yeah. And that podcast isn't too old, is it?
No, we're 14th episode will come out this week. So
Cool.
yeah, we're
And what'd you say it was
months
called?
in. Laugh With Me.
Left me. Okay.
And you try to release once a week, or what do you try to do for that?
Yeah, we're
Okay.
currently once a week, and I have a guest, and we I don't know, the whole thing's just like what makes us laugh. Like, what are my brother? He was on, and he had a thing where there's a movie that I forget what the movie's called, but it's not available anymore, right? So in the streaming world, you would think everything should be available somewhere.
I know, or you have to pay for it,
Right.
or it's available.
But
yeah.
now movies aren't even all made in hard copy, right? So we got into a debate because I said, well, you can get anything you want. And I'm like, in 5 seconds, I'll get you that movie on Amazon. And I searched up the movie title, and I
Yeah.
was like, all right, got it. He's like, what year was that? Will you send me that link? And I instantly knew I was probably wrong. And because we were going back and forth on Twitter about this. And sure enough, I was wrong. That movie can't be found anywhere. It's not available on DVD. It's not being streamed anywhere. And that's the problem, is that not the streamers, but the networks and the movie facilities aren't allowing, these to be available. It's all dollars, right? What's it going to take to purchase this? and the consumer can't get it. I mean, there's fan bases that can't get everything they want. And then some of the stuff you can get isn't even right. Like The Simpsons on Disney Plus, the ratio's all off. And to me, it didn't matter. I turned on The Simpsons. I'm like, it looks like The Simpsons to me.
Oh, like they're shaped weird? You mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
okay.
to me, it wasn't a thing, but they formatted it to fit the screen. Well, now it's all blurry. And I don't know, it was a whole thing. So we don't always tell jokes, but we're just getting into things that maybe normal people are just discussing and going back and forth. And it's the back and forth, I think, where sometimes you can find humor. And then at the end of every episode, then I work out new jokes. And, they're being worked
out. Real quick, like the other side of that, where, okay, some of these movies that came out in the 90s or 80s or whatever, we can't get. Like, they're locked up, and where are they?
They're in the vault.
They're in the vault. On the other side, what Willy Wonka 27th edition's coming out this year. Like, they're also making movies that we don't want. Consumers aren't even asking for, but these people in a high rise are saying, nope, that's a cash cow, that's a moneymaker. Willy Wonka 17, put it out there. Get it done. Like, it's like, well, what's going on here? You're not being a high V, right? You're simultaneously not letting people have the trigger with stuff, that they want to see, and then you're force feeding them Willy Wonka, whatever, is the 12th edition of Willy Wonka.
My kids are not going to want to watch that old movie.
No.
Well, it's like people who say there's no original ideas anymore, and we're just remaking, whether it's TVs or movies. It's so true, but there are ideas out there that maybe just didn't get, a chance. You can take some bad movies or bad TV shows, and let's remake them with new ideas and new technology and see if we can turn that into a profit.
Well, things like podcasts, I mean, is a huge testament to that. Like what we're doing right now with common folk and talking to common folk and, bringing their stories out and bringing our stories out and chatting about fun things. Yeah. Like 10, 15 years ago, someone could have had that idea, but it would have never been allowed.
Right. Yeah.
So now we have all these platforms to be able to do these kinds of things, and it's great.
And the actual need for long-form content, especially like news and current events, I think people are seeing the value in that rather than just boxed in 90 seconds.
Yeah, and one of the things that's great about the podcast, like with what you guys are doing, it's probably, it's entertainment, it's lighthearted, it's it's fun, it's a change from if you just turn on the radio, you're basically just hearing, for the most part, news, and a lot of it's doom and gloom and all that kind of stuff. And while sometimes we do talk about some of those things, we get into some of those debates and those kinds of things. That was kind of the whole point of this too, was like, how about something that you can dial into that's entertaining, maybe a little bit educational, but just when you get done with it, you're like, man, there's still good people out there,
Well, put the common perspective on it, right?
Yeah.
Blue collar.
Yeah.
And then another flip side of this content that we're talking about, Ninja Turtles that just came out.
Oh, yeah.
We always talk about Ninja Turtles. It always goes back to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That was a perfect case where Seth Rogen, a comedian, took a great brand and a story and said, hey, I got another take on it. Let's take it where they're actually teenagers and really focus on them being teenagers. And it worked great. It was a smash hit for Nickelodeon or Spin Master, whatever that company's called. But yeah, it was an original idea, taken from a solid storyline there. But that's, I feel like that's not what Willy Wonka is. It's the same story with the same Oompa Loompas,
I guess he doesn't like Willy Wonka.
I like.
You like chocolate?
I do. But okay, after
Do you want the golden ticket? I mean, I would want to go.
I would.
Okay.
I would take a golden ticket.
But we've already seen this. We've seen it 5 times now since Gene Wilder did it. Like, and then after Johnny Depp did it, wasn't that enough?
Johnny Depp, that was the best one.
Yeah, you're calling that new. That's older than the thong song.
It is?
No, I don't think so.
Probably pretty close, though.
Yeah, I know.
It probably is.
The thong song is the song of our generation, and we don't know it yet, but it is. Just look at the clothing choices people are making.
It's true, yeah.
It is. Yeah. It is stuck and it's resonated.
Yeah.
But that Ninja Turtle movie, what's interesting about that? Rogan, he had the cast, it's cartoons, so they're just doing voice work, but they worked in a room like this, and they acted it out in front of each
together?
other. Yeah, and a lot of cartoons that do voice work, they don't do that, and it's difficult, but it made the chemistry work even better, and it made for any more fun movies.
Oh, I bet.
I don't know. I thought that was a very interesting tidbit, and it's a good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how long have you been doing stand-up, like going on stage in that?
So we're coming up on a year now.
Okay. So with that being said, like what would be like one of your worst moments that you had that you can think of?
Oh
like,
my. Well, I got a couple.
right.
Thanks, man. Good question.
I mean, aren't you supposed to start with the best and then do worse? Or
maybe
no,
we'll
worse
we'll
first.
finish on a high, we'll finish on a high
Okay.
note.
We'll finish on a high note. I got two for sure that are noteworthy, but
Well, we already talked about one.
yeah. So there was a show I got last minute. I had just come back from seeing Blink-182 in Minneapolis.
Okay.
And we just got back in town. And I get a text, and he's like, "Hey, can you do a show tonight?" And at like 10 o'clock. I'm like, "Yeah, sure. Yeah, it'd be awesome." I don't want to turn down opportunities, right? So I was just doing a guest spot. It was a competition show, but I wasn't competing. I was just filling time.
Yeah.
And I get up there, and like nobody went to the show. I think maybe we were just under promoted the show itself. So, or maybe it was just lack of the way they booked it, because I mean I was getting asked day of, but either way, I go up there and there's like 4 people. 2 of them in front of me are competing in the show, and the mom of one of the people that's competing in the show. And I'm doing a joke. I wrote the jokes that day too. I was like, I'm gonna try out some new stuff. And that's just a terrible idea. Like you should always work out the material before you go on stage. So I'm doing a guest spot. Like people probably expect me to like be funny, and I'm over here working out new jokes in front of 4 people. And my wife thought I did a good job, and you know, she
was one of the
she's
4.
my biggest fan. Sometimes my
That was
only
nice
fan.
of her.
But yeah, but no. So that was great. And then I had I did 2 shows in Lincoln, Nebraska. One night at a bar, and the first show crushed. I did 20 minutes, first time I'd ever done 20 minutes. It was incredible. Everybody was laughing. It was probably the best time I'd ever had on stage. Then the second show, which was about an hour later, I couldn't have bombed any harder doing the same material.
Really?
To the point that the bar owner came up. She started heckling me. And it was the first time I'd ever been heckled, too. So it was quite the experience. Oh, yeah. She's like, say something funny. And I'm like, you were laughing earlier. Like, we were going back and forth, which was fun.
Yeah.
But it was not. It was
so
not
it was
good.
a different crowd at that
Yeah.
point an hour later.
Yeah.
Really?
Hour later, you would have thought, I don't know, you would have thought
So
we
weird.
shot their dog.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't touch their dog. And then, it was terrible.
There's got to be some kind of like
Yeah, what is it?
psychological or sociological reason for that, right? Like maybe with the first one, like early on, for some reason you started building some steam, and then it's kind of like someone can't say something that's like, no matter what they say, it's funny.
Right.
You know, like it just starts building up, and then it's just like, it's just funny. This dude's funny.
Yeah. And
But for whatever reason, in the beginning of that one, like it just didn't
like it's
start
sometimes
that way or something.
if the first joke doesn't hit, or maybe somebody doesn't, not that they're offended, but maybe they're just like, I don't know about that. Sometimes, you're already turned off by that person no matter what they say. Like it's
Okay.
going to take a lot to come back from.
Yes.
I don't know that my material is anything that's too much to get offended by, but the for whatever reason, that room did not care for me in that second show.
Was it a younger crowd?
The second show was an older crowd. The first show was younger. Yeah.
Oh, wow. I would have thought maybe it was the other way around.
Yeah,
I would have thought so
later.
too.
Yeah.
And the bartender was great though. I have Crohn's disease. He also has Crohn's disease, so we connected there, and he's like, man, that's funny stuff. He's yelling, and I'm like, I'm on stage. But yeah, it was. I don't know. That second show will haunt me for the rest of my life. But
Guess you got to have those, right?
absolutely,
But to have the first be so good and then that.
yeah.
That
I'm
was
Same
actually
tough.
night,
Yeah.
I'm actually happy the first show went well, because if I would have had that second show be the first experience, I
True.
think I would have. I don't even know if I would have wanted to go through
Yeah,
with the
that's
second
true.
show.
Yeah. Yeah. Huh. Well,
Yeah.
at least you got some balls to do it. There's no way I would be standing on a stage. I don't even like giving speeches. I didn't even want to do this damn podcast with you guys.
Yeah.
But you freaking made me. Now I like
Jeez, I
it.
made you.
Wow.
Now I like it.
I think she just quit.
Yeah.
Did you just quit the show?
I'm
I'm
gonna just
done.
go ahead and
I mean,
shut
I
your
have
mic
walked
off.
out twice already, but that was just today. Anyways, yeah, good for you to even try it and tackle it.
Well, I
you
did
know?
debate in high school, and
Okay.
I try to see it a little bit in that way, where you're in front of people and you're just trying to on the fly trying to come up with things. So
Andy's good on the fly. Ben's really good at public speaking. This one, no. So
Yeah,
you
but
three are good.
I couldn't tell jokes. There's no way I could stand up in front of a crowd and try to tell
You
jokes.
couldn't either, Andy?
Well, I mean, I probably could. I don't know.
I think
Oh,
could.
you already got me laughing.
But no. Well, I'll go back to that Dunning-Kruger deal. Like the fact that I understand the writing that goes into it, the preparation, the way you have to read a crowd, react to a crowd, allow them to get it before you move on to the punchline. There's so many little timing things that if you get one little thing wrong,
It's over.
It's over.
Yeah.
They're not going to laugh. They're not going to clap. And then, you're done from that point on. So I guess I would be a little bit more intimidated. Like I'm a little intimidated by being a stand-up comedian more than anything.
Well,
Yeah.
I am nervous about being on stage in front of people. Like,
You are.
definitely nervous of it.
Okay. I think
I
that's
have to
good,
overcome
though.
it. But once you
Yeah.
get that first laugh, like you're almost just playing a character, and it's fun. You can just kind of
Yeah.
play the game. I don't know. It's like playing sports. That's the way I see
There's
it.
probably, I mean, I think it's probably fairly similar to that. And there's got to be some kind of like high, like you get that dopamine hit or whatever, and then you're just like, this is great. Like I want to keep
Like
doing
it's
this.
a drug.
Kind
Yeah.
of.
I mean, it probably would be. I would imagine. Yeah.
Do you drink before you go on stage? Does that like chill you out?
A little bit to chill me.
Like take a shot or what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. That and a beer. Yeah. And
Okay.
you got to relax yourself a little bit.
Yeah. But you don't want to
Absolutely.
have too much because then you're wasted speaking.
Correct. I don't know if it's so much the slurring, it's remembering the material would probably be an issue
Yeah.
or getting caught up. Like you can run over on time, if you get caught up on something. Like the last show I did, I was at the Funny Bone and I ad-libbed a little bit just because the moment seemed right and people were digging it. There was getting some extra laughs. But I did end up running a little over time. You don't ever want to do that. So I just have to figure out how to have those ad-lib moments.
Yeah.
But if I'm drinking, I mean, when people are laughing and you're just going,
Yeah,
I
it's
mean, you
fun,
just
yeah.
go.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what's the time? You said 20 minutes, but that was the longest. So what do they normally give you? 10?
No, 5 to 10 minutes. Yeah.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
that short.
Yep. So then you just try
Okay.
to, get in as much punchline as you can in that time frame, but also be able to tell stories and make
Yeah.
it cohesive. Yeah.
Okay. See, I don't know why I was thinking that seems short.
Man.
That's my cousin. He was at that show in Lincoln, the first one. And he's like, 20 minutes, all right. And he came to my last show. And he's like, how much time you getting? I'm like, 5 minutes. He's like, oh, what? I'm like, that's pretty standard. Like,
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess I could see that. I think I've only gone to the
Yeah.
Funny Bone once.
Okay.
And then I looked at tickets because Ben likes Adam Sandler. We didn't
Yeah.
end up going.
I was at that show.
Was it good?
Fantastic,
But
yeah.
that was obviously, I mean, he is who he is. How
Yeah.
long was that show? An hour?
He went for an hour and a half.
Oh.
Wow. 90 minutes?
Yeah, but you think about it.
Jeez.
He's performing songs.
Oh, he did sing.
Yeah, so
Okay.
probably every 10 to 15 minutes of material he'll then break into song.
I thought about it so bad, and I really wanted
would've
us to
been funnier than
go.
hell.
And I know a
Yeah.
couple people went, but I looked at him and I'm like, it's busy season for us.
It
But
is.
but you liked it.
Oh, it was incredible.
Okay, I was
yeah,
talking
one
about
of the best I've ever
Adam
seen. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's the best. I mean,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
I think that's another
like
part of
this
that, like sociology or whatever that I was talking about earlier. Like, you just go in there, like you just expect that to be good,
Yeah.
right? So
Oh, yeah.
then he kind of has a leg up to begin
Oh,
with.
yeah.
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
true.
He
Like,
could have started with anything, he would have laughed. Oh,
right.
yo.
Yeah, I would have been laughing for sure.
Yeah.
I would have been dying if he just started making noises. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Those noises.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But anytime you can walk out and just walk on stage and
And people
everybody's
laugh.
standing,
Yeah.
I promise you, when I walk out on stage, they're not standing. So, he does have that leg up. Yeah.
I do think it's a healthy thing, a good thing to be nervous, before you go on. It means it matters.
Yeah.
And that you're putting a lot into it. I still get very nervous before we go live on TV before a football game or basketball game.
You do?
Oh, yeah. The camera's there. The team's warming up behind you. I got Brandon, our sports director. He's usually the play-by-play. And he's got like this list of, we're going to hit this, we're going to hit this, we're going to hit this. He's a nice guy, but it's like, okay, I got my shit together.
Yeah,
I got to know what I'm
no.
going to say. I got to know about this guy, that guy, the coach, the new coaching staff, all this stuff that you're just supposed to knock it out in 25 seconds. You know what I mean? So there's some pressure there. And I always try to like rhyme and make fun of it and stuff, so like adding pressure, I guess, to it.
Yeah.
Do
Do you have someone in your ear too?
Not for that.
Okay. Because that would wig
that would add to
me out. I
Yeah.
don't know how people do that on the news. They're talking and then someone's talking to them. It's like when I'm on the phone, or I think I do it to you more. He's on the phone and I'm like, say this. you know, and I like, he obviously is not hearing me or tuning me out. That would be so hard.
Well, it's like professional wrestling announcers. They're constantly have producers in their
they
ears.
do?
And they're, blabbing the whole time, telling the stories.
No way.
And they constantly have people talking in their ears. I don't know how they do that.
Well, I cut my teeth in a pretty rough way because we did a ton of basketball games in season 1 when they hired me on. They kind of lured me in. They're like, hey, just a couple games here and there. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And it ended up being like 6 to 8 games a week.
Oh.
Girls, boys, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, sometimes Saturday, sometimes a tournament. And our producer was a real fun guy, but he was really rough around the edges. So he was saying off-color jokes in my headset.
No.
If I stumbled on a word, he'd be flipping me shit, and I'm supposed to keep on this. A kid would just like make 3 errors in a row and be like, that fucking idiot, he's wasting this game. He's yelling that in our ear set. I don't know. It made me better, but it was rough to learn that way.
Yeah,
I'll say that. Somebody I wanted to ask you about.
Yep.
It's a fascinating story, and it's going on right now. Matt Rife,
Yeah.
the comedian. Do you guys know who Matt Rife is?
I know the name, but
I know. I
You know
feel
Matt
like
Rife?
I've heard the name.
And I don't know him very well, and I think what I think is his scheme worked perfectly because I don't know I would have really known of him had he not gone on the Jordan Peterson show and say, oh, woke culture, cancel culture is trying to attack me. There's a lot of weird red flags to me because he came up in the MTV world, right?
Yes, it's on Wild Now. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Oh.
So-
He's like the
okay.
biggest comic in the world right now.
yeah.
He is.
He's getting a world tour that sold out within seconds. He's
But
just
he's
the hottest
dicey?
thing. Well, the thing is, he's been in the comedy game for like 10 plus years now, but never could really break out. And on TikTok, he broke out with some of his like crowd work. Like there was clips of his crowd work going on, and it was just going nuts. Like instant viral. Everything he put out would go viral.
Show
right?
me a picture of him, Ben.
He's a good-looking guy.
Yeah. he's-
Oh.
right.
Very strong jawline. Very good-looking guy.
Oh,
So
wow.
females
Okay, so we got a
drew
man
to
crush
it.
going on over here.
No, I'll call it.
Okay.
But he became a huge deal, and it's funny because now he just had a Netflix special. His first special come out,
Oh,
is-
we're going to have to look at that.
And this is it. Yeah.
and his
That
special
guy?
is not getting very good reviews because he's kind of turned on his audience.
right.
Okay,
Totally.
he's good looking.
He's
Yeah.
totally turned on
them.
His audience, females, made him the biggest star in the comedy world, and he wants a male audience. And his
What?
jokes,
He says that?
yes, in his special, he's tearing down women. Yeah, it's a weird dynamic. It's the
Yeah.
weirdest thing.
But is he gay? I mean, does he like
don't know.
guys?
I don't
Maybe that's
know.
why he wants to.
I don't know that. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I don't know.
You heard it here first.
You're breaking news.
What? That we don't know that he's gay or not?
Yes.
No, I think he's saying that I said that he is, but I
Okay.
didn't say that.
But he did. He has said an
Morgan's
article.
spreading rumors.
I did not. I questioned it. I had the
The
statement,
new
and
Matt
then
Rife controversy.
great. No,
So what got him into hot water, from what I understand, he did a couple domestic violence jokes.
Yep.
oh,
And
yeah.
two black guys, she's already been told twice, that type of deal. And of course, with 80% of your audience being women, a lot of them didn't think that was funny, especially if they're MTV holdovers, right? So then the first thing that he did was, I'm being canceled. And he went on like Jordan Peterson and a couple of like Daily Wire type spots. And I think he's brilliant because it introduced him to an entirely another audience and a mostly male audience too.
Yep. Which is what he wants.
Exactly. So, and he's already, he's the biggest thing out there as far as comedians and stand-up and acts go. So I think he was playing the game, and he actually turned woke culture into like this is a great profitable driver for me. Watch these idiots. I hope they get mad about this punch her in the face joke.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. And like, he's not the biggest, like, the people in the industry, other comedians aren't like big fans of his, and so it's very interesting that he.
Yeah.
I think
is
I
going
was
about this
thinking
way.
of when you said his name. There's another guy? Is his name John Christ or Christ? Or I feel like I've seen him on social media.
I don't know.
I don't know.
But
Okay, I've never seen this guy, so now I'm gonna have to look him up.
he kept cropping up in my feed, and I think it was due to other stuff. And then I saw his special on Netflix, and I thought, you know what? I like to watch that stuff. I like to tune out. So I did watch his special. And I thought, oh, you know, and some of that stuff was pretty funny.
Yeah.
But I wasn't like, it wasn't Adam Sandler funny.
No, it's way different. And I tried to get tickets to go see him. He was in Omaha. I tried to. It was so
Sold
difficult
out.
to get. Yeah, and then even on the secondary market, it was crazy expensive. So I was like, I'll pass. And then the special came out. I'm like, I don't know. I think I'm okay. It's not that I wasn't entertained. It's just I never would have paid that price. But,
Okay. Yeah.
He's a big deal.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And I'm not hating on the guy. I wish I had that kind of kind of status, but not. I don't know. I'd turn on my audience like that.
But then again, how
that's-
long is he going to be that big of a deal? Eventually, people will
Right.
probably get over it.
Right.
Somebody that dicey.
Well, you need to start taking pictures with your shirt off and stuff.
I do.
That's it.
Yeah, I might want to work out a little bit first.
Hey, you never
work.
know.
Is that what you pulled up? Pictures of Matt Rife with his shirt off?
I just typed in his name, and there's all kinds of them.
See, I don't know this guy.
There's not many redheads that take pictures with their shirts off for
Right,
publicity
right.
purposes.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
could probably stick out.
Hey,
Yeah, 100%.
superimpose this on Matt Rife, right?
Oh yeah.
There we go.
All right.
Now we're on to something. And then when they try to cancel, you'd be like, oh, just play the same card.
Yep.
They're trying to cancel me.
So,
The man tearing me down again.
so the comedy thing, are you digging it? It's been fun for you?
Oh, it's been fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
You're not quitting anytime soon?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, looking forward to 2024 and seeing growing it and working on new jokes and just seeing if I can master it 5. That's what you want to do as a new comic is try to master 5 minutes and kind of grow
Okay.
from there. So I'm going to work really hard in this next year to do that.
I always forget that Howie Mandel really was a start, like a stand-up.
He was hilarious too.
Like I always just think of him now on America's Got Talent, right?
Yeah, Bobby's World. We probably grew up
Bobby's
watching
World.
Bobby's
I
World.
didn't
He was
watch
the voice.
that. I did not watch that.
There's a lot
that
of people who are like big names today that were spending most of their time being stand-up.
But think about that. If
comedians
I
back in
didn't
the
know
day.
that, I mean, I know my kids definitely did not know that he was a comedian either
Right.
when we've watched it. I'm like,
You take the biggest podcaster in the world. He was a
Yeah.
comedian.
Yep,
Joe Rogan
Yeah.
was?
absolutely.
Oh, I
He
did
still
know
is.
that.
He still
Okay.
does
Still
it,
is.
right?
He
Yes,
owns a
you're
comedy
right.
club.
I
Yeah.
did know
Yeah.
that. Yes.
Yeah, the mothership.
Yep.
But for the longest time, I didn't know he was
Yes.
a comedian either. I mean, I just thought he was that UFC guy that was on that
Fear Factor.
the Fear Factor
Fear
guy.
That's how I knew him because I loved that show.
Yeah,
No, he's still up a few times a week in tours. Yeah.
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 And his last Netflix special I thought was pretty funny.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
he's still doing that.
Do you think, not that you have to like necessarily make a commitment at this point in your life or whatever, but do you feel like this is really going to be the thing for you? This is what you're going to continue to do? Or are you just kind of like, hey, this is fun right now and it's things, I'm getting the bills paid and I'm enjoying life and I'm just going to kind of see what happens?
I'd like to say that that's where it's going to go. 5 years from now, I'm still
Yeah.
doing it, and I hope that I am. I really do because I very much enjoy it. But I also see it as maybe it takes me, down other paths.
Sure.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep working hard until I know yes or no. But yeah, no, it's fun, and for right now, it's definitely something I want to continue to grow and get better. I just have to get better. Every day you just got to
Right.
keep writing and keep getting better.
Well, I think it could, no matter what you choose to do, go more into the sports writing or whatever. It could be a cornerstone that actually fits with that. You
Right.
know, what's that guy that does all the voices? God, he does a John Madden better than anyone.
You talking about the guy from Police Academy,
No. He's on
Frank Caliendo?
Yes,
Yeah.
Caliendo. He's
Oh,
on
yeah.
Fox all the time in the pregame. Like he's actually on their panel sometimes.
He is.
And he's hilarious. And he'll even put his 2 cents in about the Kansas City Chiefs. Like, I'm listening to Caliendo over the Chiefs. But it's funny. It works, because he is a sports guy. But yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
So they do go hand in hand.
Fans love to hear people talk about their team no matter who it is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it just doesn't matter.
That's true.
You just want to hear. And it's just like, people love hearing your name. No
Yeah.
matter where you're at. Oh, it's probably the best sound you hear is somebody saying your name.
Yeah.
It's like
Mm-hmm.
when you're a fan, you just love people saying your team's name.
Yeah.
Yep, that's why Nebraska's going to do it this year.
Oh shit! Now we back to
I
Nebraska.
think we're back.
We're back.
Everything's changing. Here we go.
Well, we got that Ohio recruit. I mean, he's going to start the
I think that
the whole thing all over again.
with what I love so much about comedy, and also what's so interesting is that like guys and ladies and whoever that are doing comedy can like basically say anything they want, And I think that's great that there's that forum to be able to just,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. Like, we're not here to take offense. We're all laughing together. We're having a
Yeah.
good time. Like, you can say some of the most off the wall shit
Yeah.
that would be super troublesome for certain
Yeah.
people, but it still should be funny. That's not
Right.
what's going on here. Like, understanding the situation.
It's one of the few forms of communication that's still kind of allowed that.
Yeah, right.
Anymore, you really can't. You'll get taken down. But my wife will say you can't just say everything and say it's a joke after, because she doesn't care for that when I, say something to her. It's
Oh.
I was joking.
I would so agree with your wife
Oh, my-
on that.
You can't censor.
Just because
Comedy.
he's a comedian doesn't mean he needs to play that role at home with her.
I feel like I can use that line, but apparently I can't.
Hey, sorry, it's my profession. It's what I do.
Yeah. Of course I didn't mean, I got you that treadmill not as a joke. You got right? Yeah.
Yeah. That would not go over well at our house either. Just saying.
Yeah,
Or many
probably.
others either.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
So did with Jeremy, was there anything else you wanted to kind of cover, or is that?
I think that's about it. I was just curious how that all came together, because
Yeah.
so diverse. There's a lot of different things going in play there: writing, comedy, stand-up, and then your day job or whatever, your career with the grocery store. Those are different worlds.
Yeah. I never thought, hearing laughter in a staff meeting would lead me to want to, do this in front of the public, but it's so much fun.
Yeah.
It very much is a high, but yeah, it's cool.
It's interesting to hear about like the behind the scenes on how someone does it. I don't think we've ever interviewed a comedian. And obviously, I mean, you're same dude as any one of the rest of us, and you're out there doing your thing and working your job and trying to build your career and just doing something you love. What would be, I asked you earlier, like some of the crappiest situations. What would be like one of your most fun situations or memorable or something that you just really enjoyed or felt good when you left there?
The last show I did at the Funny Bone, I did the thong song joke again, but this time when I said the line, I added in the part about how my brother said, well, you picked a song that was, however many years old, and I ended up getting a laugh out of that joke, and that to me that was a win. And it made the thong song joke really work, and I really want that one to work.
Yeah.
That was awesome, and it was a good set, and it's cool to be on that stage where so many people, I find inspiration from, have performed on, and it was neat. My parents were at the show, and my aunt who flew in from California was at the show, so it was just a really neat experience. And then I had a show in Midtown that like I said before, I have Crohn's disease, and there was on the drive there, I was not going to make it. I was going to shit my pants, frankly, and it was coming.
Yeah.
And I had to the point set in my brain that it was now my act. I was going to be on stage just pants full of shit. And that was going to be the set, because that's kind of where I was at.
Yeah.
But I did not. I made it to the toilet, and that was a win.
All right.
That was the win for the night. But
Well,
yeah,
Well, that's
win.
good.
sometimes real life experiences can change
sure,
things
Yeah.
for you.
But you talked about your wife, so obviously she thinks you're mostly funny. You have children.
I have 2
right?
children.
Okay.
Yep.
So she's super supportive, and then you just said your parents were there. So that's huge.
literally the biggest supporter,
Okay.
even when I know it's probably not funny.
Yeah.
She gives me a laugh, and then also maybe gives me a different angle on it. So
Yeah,
she's
like,
very,
hey, think about this.
her tact is incredible. Yeah, no, she's easily the biggest fan and biggest supporter, and appreciate her
Yeah.
even, because I could seriously just be running grocery stores still, and
And probably doing a good job at it.
And
but-
and things were easier, right?
But
if-
she encouraged you to go do
Yep.
your craft or what you're passionate about.
Yep, and she certainly didn't have to support that. So yeah, no, I
That's huge.
thank her for that. It's
And
been
now, how
awesome.
old are your kids? Do they think you're funny?
13 and 11.
Okay,
and
so that's really good ages then.
my daughter, she's 11. She actually did her first comedy show this last summer. She did 5 or 4 minutes in an amphitheater in Papillion.
Cool.
She crushed it. No, she's hilarious.
Now,
It's awesome.
I was going to say, she was on your podcast.
Yeah.
And after I listened to that, I thought, do we really want Jeremy, or should we just go get hit?
Oh.
She was awesome.
Hats
She
is
was
awesome.
so good.
Really?
Sticking with the conversation, had funny points, valid points. Like she was really good.
She can hang.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, she was on it.
Nice.
So
Because I know our 13-year-old does not think I'm funny. So, I mean, if you're a comedian, I just wondered if your 13-year-old actually
You know,
thought you
my
were good at-
13-year-old, he'll give me a look. I can tell when, it's not funny to him.
Okay.
But he's nice about it. Like he'll, okay, Dad.
Yeah.
But he's
Okay,
kind
ours
of the
is
same
nice
way.
too, but I'm sure behind my back, like, flicking me off
Yeah,
or
exactly.
something. I don't know. But I just wondered if they were like young chops or. So that's great.
Yeah, no, they're fantastic.
Okay.
Great supporters.
I love that story.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
So good.
So obviously, you're up and coming. You're doing your thing. Where do folks find you if they want to see what's going on?
You can find me on the Twitter at Jo from Nebraska. Also, my podcast, Laugh With Me, at Laugh With Me Pod, and then also on Instagram at Laugh With Me Podcast.
Okay.
You can find all my links there.
At Laugh
Yeah.
With Me. I
And
like
then
that.
you're playing. If anyone's in our area here, kind of Omaha Metro, whatever. This is where you're mostly doing shows. Is that
Yeah,
right?
mostly it's here
Yep.
in Omaha, downtown at the back line quite often, and then you can also just throughout Omaha. But my shows, everything will be posted on there.
Have you seen
Awesome.
him yet, Andy?
just what he puts out on.
But
on-
live, I was wondering.
I have not.
Okay,
No,
well, we'll have to go.
Yeah,
then.
Go
I
to a
wanted to go.
show.
I wanted to go to the Funny Bone last time, and I just didn't get out there.
Okay.
So yeah, and you've been in Topeka a couple of times.
Yep.
down there.
Yep.
So,
Kansas is it's a different culture than Nebraska.
Why?
They're just a little more, I don't know, there's a little more laid back. You would think Nebraska laid back. Kansas is laid back.
Oh, I thought you were going to say rough. I don't know why.
No, I
Okay.
don't. I mean, I guess
No.
it depends on where in Kansas. Topeka wasn't too bad. Manhattan, I'm looking forward to performing in
ooh,
Manhattan.
yeah, that's a fun town.
Yeah, that'll be awesome.
Yeah.
College towns. But no, I don't know, it's just different. It's a
Yeah.
little more laid back than here.
Yeah.
But,
That's cool.
which is odd because this is very laid back.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that would be different, just knowing where the places we lived and the people, how
Yeah,
they
different.
are.
Yeah.
If and when you start traveling, your material might have to even change per demographic
Oh, 100%.
region,
sure,
you know. Yeah.
Yep.
That would throw
It's
another
interesting.
twist into the.
Yeah.
That's the fun of it.
Okay. I
Like, to
know
me,
you keep
that's a
saying that's
challenge.
fun.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
so cool.
Oh, yeah.
It's
You're
like
up for
just not the
challenges.
same. It's not the same
Yep.
everywhere. You have to keep adapting. Yeah.
So then it would be the same for Joe Rogan because he's not leaving Austin. People just come there and he says the same stuff.
he's probably fairly used to his market. Yeah. But,
yeah.
I mean, obviously he's pretty seasoned.
But
He's been doing it for a while.
but people are traveling.
Say it's tourists, probably. in
Yes.
Austin.
Yeah. So people would be from other places. Okay. Huh.
So in the beginning we were talking about like Nebraska brewing, and we need these VIP passes and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Punch cards.
So just want to reiterate that we're gonna need those,
Oh.
but
Yeah.
also like maybe we should get some for his shows. Like,
Ooh,
so
yeah.
Yes.
we should have like
should.
the common folk like table.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah.
we get in there.
There's a basket of tomatoes to throw at him if it bombs.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we got to keep you in line now. We got to keep you in check.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
We get the
Farm
VIP
raised.
experience. Yep. Only fresh, local.
Speaking of that, can anybody throw anything at you at places?
Nobody has, but you've probably just encouraged it. So I will be ready for that.
But I just wondered if there's locations, kind of like Texas Roadhouse, you can throw the peanuts on the ground.
They don't
Is
do
there
that anymore,
location?
by the way.
They don't? Oh, okay. Well,
I have
Monoway.
I've had
I just
friends
didn't know
that
if there was a
Monoway?
stand-up
That's where we
place
should
that
do it.
like they could actually
Be
like
awesome.
throw eggs at you or something.
I've had
There's
friends
got to be.
that I've had friends that haven't been to a show yet, but I think if they could throw things at me, they
They
would be there
totally
in a
would
heartbeat.
come.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of something soft. Egg would be a little rough. Tomato, that's a little messy.
As long as
the
it's not
egg would-
hard boiled.
Yeah. Well, if you take the shell off of it, maybe.
What about like
Yeah.
chewed gum or something?
chewed gum?
It's soft, but like it could get bad on your clothes.
It's like you don't want to be mean, but you want to show the disgust. So you throw the gum at
Just take your gum out.
You know what's
I
great?
bite my thumb at thou.
She has seen enough of me already. She's like, I need to throw something if I'm going to a show.
I'm totally gonna have to. I'm gonna have to bring a pencil or something. Like
Beer bottle. Get out of here.
I could throw in money, right?
There we go.
There you go.
Now, there are-
That works
It's
with the thong
not.
song. That
This
works with
isn't
the
a
thong
stripper,
Yes.
but
Well,
When I do the thong song joke, I will now
Ben
expect
did ask
dollars
you to
be
take your
thrown
shirt
in.
off too.
Yes.
So, It's all coming full
It's all
circle.
coming around.
Yep, we've
Archie,
got some-
you're so glad you joined us on the Common Folk here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Filling you full of great ideas for
I
material.
love it.
So,
Oh, golly.
Well, Jeremy, thanks for coming, man. It's good
Yeah.
to meet
It's
you.
nice
Thank
to
you.
meet you.
That was awesome.
We'll
Yeah.
have to come see you.
Absolutely.
for sure.
For sure. Yeah, it'd be fun. Folks, check him out. What else? Anything?
I think so. Laugh with me, right? That's the podcast.
Laugh with me.
All right.
Yep. Happy
right, cool.
holidays. It's getting
Cool,
closer.
Later.
All right. Nothing else? You done?
Nope.
No? All right. I'm
He's
done
like,
too. All right.
oh my gosh. Bye. Peace.
See ya.